Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here, and let's talk about the K1 Communion Legendary Lost Sector. Now, what I'm going to do is go through this, and I'm not going to use the Valkyries and the heavy frames. If you have those available to you, I cannot recommend using those enough, because when they explode, they pretty much vaporize almost everything. So those are really, really good to use, but I'm not going to use them depending on when you check this video. If you haven't upgraded the Moon Bunker yet, you should still be able to finish this thing without it, so certain weapons are going to be an option. It's going to be a batch game. You've got fallen enemies to deal with. You're going to have shield. You're going to have one solar shield on a heavy shank. You're going to have a couple captains that have arc shields, not too many though. And then you're going to have a couple servitors that have void shields. So let me go over my loadout, kind of explain what I'm dealing with. Now, also, light level matters in this place. Big time. I'm running this thing higher. I could lower myself down a little bit if I was trying to be a little more reasonable to you guys. I know I had been kind of under-leveling myself a bit, just to kind of get a feel for under-leveling these things. So, see if I can go about 991. We'll do that. You guys know we're getting power levels, but we'll run 991 on this one. So what we've got here, we've got whatever your preference is for anti-barrier and overload. Once again, done this before. Now, anti-barrier, I typically just go with a submachine gun because the servitors are going to be anti-barrier, and I can't honestly tell if the sidearms break more damage off or what, but I do seem to just like this pillager. It's also want to have outlaw and rampage. So your choice of anti-barrier, and then overload, it's kind of your preference as well. Submachine guns, but the reason I went auto rifles is because you need a little bit more range for some of these the enemies in here. So something with range is going to be good. And also, I'm running a solar subclass just because you only really need one solar shield, so I don't have to depend too much on that one. And you do have a captain or two that you need to take care of, so the arc is good to have on your auto rifle. Finally, I'm going sword. Mainly, the disruption blade for the overload captains is good. And this one's actually one that I do enjoy using. Swords are in a good spot. I've got Tireless Blade and then Assassin's Blade on this one, so I'm able to just kind of kill and keep swinging, and then overload is great for those captains. So those are my three. I'm not going to use the heavy frames. I'm not going to use the Valkyrie. But again, if you have them, I can't recommend enough using them, and I'll point out where they're going to be. So, let's jump in. Here we go. Alright Guardians, so when you come in, this first room is just going to have some enemies waiting for you. When you kill enough of the enemies, you are going to have a servitor spawn, and that's where the barrier is going to come in. Now, you have a Valkyrie right here before I walk in the door. If you have it available, use it. It's really, really effective in here. I'm just not using it because I want to show you guys in case you don't have it, or, you know, somebody steals it or whatever's going on, just to give you guys the options of what it's like without. So most of what I'm going to be doing is going to be just killing this group of enemies here as best as I can. I've got my Sun Warrior build on just because it's a nice way to stay alive, and also I like the amount of damage that I can put into some of the bosses and really cook them down. Trying to use any of these kind of little bricks as cover, also a good thing. A lot of grenades, oh my god, so many. The thing you'll notice about the Fallen, there's so many grenades, and then later on the Vandals have so many tracking shots, it gets a little crazy. But staying in this back area, using these sections as cover is kind of what I've been doing. Servitor appears to be coming down. If you can kill more enemies before the Servitor starts shielding them, it's going to make your life a little bit easier. Anything unshielded, try and kill it. You can line of sight anything too, that's actually a good idea. So if you can pull any of the enemies out of line of sight, you won't have nearly as much to deal with. Now, I've got a decent amount of sword ammo, but try and come in here with as much ammo as possible. It's really going to help you out. Now, main thing I'm trying to do is get him down to that kind of magical third of damage when he actually pops his shield up, because then I'm going to have to kind of bust in with the with the sword. So when I get ready, switch over, it's about here. He's going to break, and then I'm going to go sword. Try and keep your butt on the ground so you get the continuous swings. And he's dead. Now we should be good. Now, if you die in a lost sector, guess what? It's not a big deal. As I've covered before, you just get to go again. And the other nice thing about lost sectors, you actually can switch your weapons around, which gets to a point where I will tell you guys why I'm going to switch. Now, one thing I did tell you guys that you are going to want to try and bring is something void and a sword. But the other piece is you're going to want a little bit of range, maybe more than an auto rifle, because when you come into this next room, you're going to want some range. Now, what I've got is a bow. Not even a high-level bow, which is probably why this thing is hitting like it's not doing anything. If that was higher, that would actually be doing a lot more. Because remember, your light level matters, but your gear level matters too. So if I'm running a 950 bow in here, there's a reason it probably isn't one-shotting these guys. And that one probably would be. So, you can switch weapons if you need to. Make sure you do it. Once we get in here, we're going to have our next section. Now, there is a heavy frame in here. If you can run down there, even if you die, spawn the heavy frame, let him do his thing, he's going to be putting in lots of work. But for now, I'll pull out the auto rifle, work some of these guys from range. Drag there. And I haven't dropped down yet. Now, this little ledge up here is actually a really great place to fight from, because as soon as you drop down, you're going to get a lot more enemies. I'll show you guys what I mean by 950 bow not really working so well. When you drop down, you're going to have a lot more enemies that spawn. These wretches up here will definitely want to kill you. So try and do what you can there to keep them at bay. You're going to have your barrier servitor. I wouldn't worry as much about the servitor at this moment. I'd really just try and kill all the enemies that you can before you really have to focus on him. Because when you go crazy on him, he's going to be its own thing. Now that bow would probably one-shot if it was actually a high level. But a 950 bow is not putting in the proper work it's supposed to. You have a lot of adds around, and the reason I'm back here is because the Vandals get to be painful. There's a lot of them, and their tracking shots are brutal when they start stacking. So really trying to pick off everything you can at far range, watching for those grenade throws as much as you can. Tracking on bows is quite forgiving, I'm going to be honest. All falling out of my line of sight. Now there's Servitor number 2 in the back, who's even more fun. So yeah, sit back here, cook a lot of the enemies down. Nothing quite as bad if you stay hidden. If you get out there and get exposed, it gets to be a little dicey. I'm terrible with my shots right now. And again, something more powerful would be helpful, but just showing you guys kind of in a underleveled state what this one's going to be like. Now, that grenade's going to do a decent amount of work on him. Basically, what I need to be ready for is when I'm ready to go to town on him, is to make sure I'm actually up. Are you going to do it? Yep, he did it. So I got to break his shield. Now is probably a decent time that I could go super and cook him down. And I can try and manage the other enemies as well. Keep the super cooking. Try and make sure he doesn't shield up again. He's dead. And now I can kill these enemies. So that champion is down. These guys are really annoying in this little corner over here. This is why the other reason you need some type of void. Now I can run up with my sword and take care of that guy. There's enough ammo on the ground, it's not really going to hurt me too bad. May as well finish you in style. And then jumping up, couple dregs. If you got ammo sitting on the ground like I do, you may as well use your heavy. But swords are great for the captains later on, and you'll see why. That's phase 2. Again, take it slow, work from the back. It's going to be the best way to probably do it. I can also probably bring back out my overload auto rifle because my bow is so underleveled, it's not really doing me a whole lot of good. Captain is here. So this is where your arc is going to be important. If you can find the captain, of course, that's always the hard part. They jump everywhere. There he is, finally creeping around. Now if you break his shield, usually I just like to run in there, finish him. Don't even mess with it. I have so many ammo finders on, by the way, for swords. That's why I probably never run out of sword ammo. Swords are a really good thing this season. Honestly, like, don't underestimate them for captains and damage, and also, like, between the perk for extra reserves and stuff like that that you can get from, what am I trying to think of? The artifact. You can do a lot of work with swords, and between ammo finders, scavengers, and stuff, I get heavy ammo all the time. And I tend not to run out. And you can kill a lot of enemies, and if you get the right sword, I keep getting my ammo back. So all in all, not too shabby. Wait for all that crap to go away. Now we're in the final room, so it's really not too bad. As we push forward, you're gonna have quite a few enemies. And again, if you can launch the heavy frame or the Valkyrie into action, do it. But I'm not doing that, so I'm showing you guys the underleveled, non-utilized version. So far from optimal, but that's literally the point. That's why I'm running this way. If you have those, throw the Valkyrie around. Things die really fast. It's quite effective. Opposed to this little peanut shooter. Now, we've got our first champion. It's going to be an overload captain. If you can stagger him, if I can find him, that's the hard part sometimes. Did he really go over there? Now, the only problem with going for him down here is it's quite risky with all the stuff shooting at me. If nothing else, I'm going to sacrifice my body for the kill on the champion, and I might die, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. I nearly died there just because I couldn't punch a dude. Trying to give myself a little bit of cover. Hey, buddy. Alright, so I got some enemies above me. Go start clearing out. And just use the outside rim. If you feel like you're getting overwhelmed, run in a circle. It's the best thing I can tell you. You'll see me do it later, probably. And use the cover that you can. Make sure those things don't slow you down too bad. Gotta get some ammo. Things are so often. There we go. And again, more enemies will keep coming. There's the heavy shank I talked about. That's the one where you do need some type of solar damage, hence why I haven't really been throwing my grenade that much. I knew he was coming. Now, again, work through just your corners and start picking off the ads that are coming for you. Tracer shanks hurt. I'm going to be completely honest. Ow. Make sure you got some health. Really? Can I just heal up, please? Yeah, this is why you don't want to try and shoot him down. And then as soon as that shields break, especially if there's no enemies, if there's enemies up, I would definitely work him from farther away. That was even a little aggressive, but I need some sword ammo. Alright, now the fun stuff comes in. You're going to have a Servitor, you're going to have an Overload Captain, and the boss. Now the boss is not my main focus. Everything else is my focus first. Now, he shoots from far away, so he's going to be a little painful. Again, Valkyrie there, Warmind over there, or Warframe over there. Use it if you can. Now, there's my Overload Captain. If I can pull him away from the boss, I would. But he's hard to get to. We're just going to slowly work around the outside, see what enemies I can kill, and use anything you can that's going to give you cover while you're working on some of these ads. Ow. Now, that's probably a risky proposition to run in there and go for the Overload Captain. I know I staggered him, but I also probably might get killed doing it. I want him to try and pull away and separate a little bit more, so I'm going to try and pull to the other side. See if I can get that Overload Captain even just a little closer to me over here. Also trying to focus down some other ads. See, that is a bad place to try and go for an Overload, just because he's so close to the boss. Apparently this cover is not good. Or are there anything besides like a Vandal and a Captain? Like even that stupid Vandal is the annoying part to me. Now that Captain went for it. Boss is on the other side. I'm going for the Captain. I'm going to die, go for the uppercut, and get out of there. That's okay. Again, deaths are okay. Sacrifice the body for it. And if you go in for the flawless victory, obviously you can see I was close, but don't go risky like that. Now, if pretty much everything's down, just work your damage into the boss from whatever range you can. Triple tap on an auto rifle, not a bad idea. Nightmare Drag, of course, wasting my time. May as well chunk a grenade at that boy's feet. Now, if I can go up and just mess with this drag for a second, I'm going to still do it. There we go. Somehow got some ammo back. I'm not going to sword the boss anyway, because he would just smash me completely. Now, the boss will start to move at a certain health point. Albeit this is going really slow. Trying not to use my super right here, but I think I did last run I used my super, so may as well just cook him for a little bit. Now, if you start doing enough damage, you're going to have some adds that come out behind you. Now, this Servitor, if he's all on its own, honestly, I'm going to go for him. Because he's just something that can make things immune, and I don't want him to be able to do that. So, he gets the death by sword. Now, again, working the boss from range. Triple tap on the auto does give lots of ammo. There's a Nightmare Wretch, so if he's melee, you gotta make sure you watch for him coming close. Vandal, of course, the long tracky shots get to be annoying. Grenade down over there, hopefully. Oh, that dude's down. Tracer Shanks, man, those snipers do hurt, so watch out for those if you can. And again, if I can spawn the heavy frame or the Valkyrie every like 20-30 seconds, yeah, I would totally be doing it. But some of you guys may not have that unlocked yet, so I'm just trying to show you where you're at. Now, if you're close to level 1,000, yeah, you're probably doing okay. But remember, I'm like 991. We're 2 weeks into the season, so I don't know what your level's at. But I went somewhat underleveled. I ran another one about 985. The light level makes a huge difference. So me running this at 991 even definitely makes this harder. And so is it the fact that that guy can't get a good shot on him. He's like hiding behind Dad. Shield me, Dad. Don't let him get me. Come on, be your own dude out here. Ow, then he's gonna come kill me. If I can pull him up to me behind this pillar. Finish. Now, this is probably gonna be really stupid, but I'm gonna go for boss damage here. And I got him. So now you're going to have a few champions left. We are not done, but I went to town on the boss. And that was a lot of swings. So if you run out of ammo at that point, you're okay, because nothing else in here is really too crucial. And remember, you can switch over energy weapons if you're really in dire need. Just make sure you have an energy that is void. Make sure you got something that's solar. Whether it be, you know, one grenade, that's usually all you need. I got to go smack that guy around a little bit, because he's shielding everybody. There you go, he's dead now. Now there's still a little bit more that spawns. I feel like I'm not quite done. Yep, there's the Exploder Shanks. I knew they were coming. Shield wall. Break the exploders. Grenade, of course. So many grenades. Speaking of grenades, may as well use mine. That hurt. Stop it with the grenade throwing. And we are just about done. Finished. So, this is the completion of K1 Communion, Legendary Lost Sector. And just a reminder, as we go through, that's that one. Make sure you get your weeklies. Make sure you can open this. And done with that. So, again, I was running 991. Weapons were not the highest, but some type of void option so you can deal with those servitors is a good idea. Sword, that was my big deal. Let's go back into the bunker and we'll chat it up. Alright, so that pretty much wraps this one up for you guys. Again, the biggest keys, you need the barrier for the couple servitors that you're going to face. You got overload captains in a couple places, you'll be facing those as well. And swords cannot be oversold in how helpful they are. Now, Tireless Blade is a nice one that I've got on a couple different ones. And basically what that one does is every other powered sword kill, I get some ammo back. Which is weird because I get ammo back for also getting my normal swipes. So I'm not sure if that's working completely as intended. But Disrupting Blade on that one is really, really good. And then on my full sword build, I've even got more things for... I've got Sniper. I don't even have a lot that drops ammo. I have Heavy Ammo Finder. I guess that's a general one that I'm using. But there's a good amount of heavy ammo you should find. So I hope this one helps you guys out in this Legendary Lost Sector. Remember, you've got the one Solar Shank. You've got the Barrier Servitors. You've got the Overload Captains. You've got a couple Void Shanks, or a Void Servitors that are not going to be barriers. But you still need Void to be able to get through them because Match Game is on. And then you've also got, I think, just the one Captain with the Arc Shield. So, not as much, but make sure you just bring an alternate with you that is going to be something Void. Even if you need to bring a Solar Weapon if you run out of a Solar Grenade. bring a couple options so you can break the shields on those normal enemies, and you're good to go. So if you guys did enjoy this guide, there will be more to come, so if you haven't subbed to the channel yet, please do so. It's a nice way to help support the channel. I would appreciate that one. If you want to find me, I'll be streaming a lot, because I am kind of in that state of work from home, basically. So, job, not much going on, doing a lot of this, so you guys can definitely find me on twitch.tv/Ebontis, twitter.com Ebontis, and right here, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, leave a comment if you have other thoughts and opinions, and trust me, if you have those Valkyries and those heavy frames, use them. They're amazing. I just was trying to do it without it. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Have a good one, and I'll see you soon.